my mind drifts back to that Christmas Eve so long ago, when nothing in our little home seemed wrong, and nothing in the world outside seemed right.
Amy, do you put down your sketch pad for a moment and help us finish the tree?
Why isn't Beth helping with the garland?
Because Beth did most of the decorating before we came home.
I'll be glad to help. Just imagine how pleased Marmy will be when she sees it.
I finished it at last, and not a moment too soon if you ask me.
Joe, where have you been all this time?
Need you ask? Just look at what she's wearing. Say what you like about my writing hat, but I've just written a closing scene for The Witch's Curse. That was a divine inspiration.
Well, we finished trimming the tree without you.
Christmas won't be the same without presents. It's dreadful to be poor.
I can remember when we used to be rich.
I remember too.
It's not fair that some girls have plenty of lovely things, while other girls, prettier girls, have nothing at all.
We're better off than so many others, though. Orphans, for instance. We still have Father and Marmy and each other.
But we don't have Father, and probably won't for quite some time. Who can say how long the war will last?
Many families in the north and south will be missing their men this year.
The army is having a dreadful winter. Supplies are scarce. Marmy was right when she said we shouldn't buy each other presents. We have to make some sacrifices, too.
I don't mind most of the sacrifices, but I'm tired of remaking these same dresses year after year.
None of you suffer the way I do. You don't have to go to school with impertinent girls who label your father just because he's poor.
If you mean libel, say so, and stop talking about labels as if Papa was a pickle jar.
I know what I mean, and you needn't to be satirical about it. It's proper to use good words and improve your vocabulary.
Vocabulary? Christopher Columbus, aren't we proper?
Don't, Joe. It's so boyish.
That's why I do it.
I hate rude, unladylike girls.
And I hate affected little chicks.
Birds in their little nest agree.
Really now, you're both to blame. Amy, your prim ways are funny now, but you'll grow up to be an affected little goose if you aren't careful. As for you, Joe, it's time you stop your boyish tricks. You turn up your hair now so you remember that you are a young lady.
I ain't! And if turning up my hair makes you one, I'll wear it in 2 tails till I'm 20. I don't want to grow up and be Miss March. I won't wear long gowns and be prim as a porcelain doll. I just can't get over my disappointment in not being a boy. Look at me, dying to go out and fight in the war with Papa, and all I can do is sit at home and knit like some pokey old woman.
Poor Joe.
Oh, I don't need your pity, because one day I'll be a famous writer and make a fortune writing books. And then I'll live and behave as I please. And Amy will have dozens of dresses with satin and lace, and Meg will have plenty of handsome beaux to dance with, and a beautiful new piano for my Bethie.
I should like that.
So, no more fighting. Let's get to work on our play. Beth, play something gruesome for us. Amy, I wrote a new scene for you. It's wonderful.
Oh,
It's very simple. All you have to do is shout, Rodrigo, Rodrigo, save me, save me. Then faint.
Rodrigo, Rodrigo, save me, save me. Oh, I can't do that. I don't want to make myself all black and blue tumbling about the way you do. Besides, I've already designed my costume, and tumbling about would crush my gold paper jewelry and crown.
You don't have any jewelry, and you certainly don't have a crown.
And why not? I am a princess, am I not?
But you don't know it. You think you're a servant girl for Beth, Hagar the witch.
A princess always knows she's a princess.
Well, you don't. Now, you're trapped in the tower when I, Hugo the villain, enter, and you cry out to Rodrigo.
I thought Meg was Don Pedro, my father.
She is, but you don't know it. I've told you a dozen times. You have the slightest idea of who you are until the end of Act 5.
Oh, does Meg know?
Of course.
Then I want to know too. Why should I always be the ignorant one?
Because if you know who you are, then the play is over.
Well, it's too long anyway.
Amy, please just do the scene. Besides, you're not polite to correct the author.
Yes, and Joe's a regular Shakespeare.
Well, it's nothing really. All right, places, everyone. Are you ready? I am Hugo. Here I come with wicked intentions. I move closer.
Come and get your tea, girls.
Why can't we have coffee anymore, Hannah?
Because it's scarce and dear. Ships are needed in time of war. They've got no time to go off to Brazil and bring back coffee for Miss Amy March. And some folks has got nothing better to do than to pry into other folks' business. Who is it, Hannah? That's Lawrence boy. What
Lawrence boy.
Mr. Lawrence's grandson. He's come to live with him.
I didn't know the old frostpot had a grandson.
He just arrived last week, and from what I've heard, he sounds like a fine one.
Why, what's he done?
Well, besides running away from school,
That's the bravest thing I've ever heard.
he was caught in an army registration office. He had lied about his age and tried to join up. Can you imagine?
I certainly can. I should like to do the same thing.
Fine soldier you'd make. Joe dumped.
Oh, Joe, it's our private property. I can look out as much as I like.
You're just as bad as he is.
There he is.
No, Amy, Beth, stand back from the window.
Well, I'm certainly glad he's a boy. I'd like to get to know a boy and have some fun for a change.
Don't say such things.
I wonder how I could get to know him. Oh, I know. Our cat could get lost and he could bring it back.
That doesn't sound very romantic.
Who said anything about romance? Yeah, over here!
Joe, stop! You're disgracing us! Joe!
Right back!
Perhaps now you'll draw the curtains and we can finish rehearsing for the play.
I suppose.
Where were we?
Rodrigo! Save me! Save me!
Yes. Well, perhaps if you tried it like, or maybe, ow. It's no use. Do the best you can when the time comes, and if the audience boos, don't blame me.
I'm glad to find you so merry, my girls.
Marmy, you're home.
It's so lovely to see you all.
Here's your city.
Yes, no. Has anyone called Beth? Come and kiss me, baby.
Not today, Marmy. Here, put these on. They're nice and warm.
Thank you, Becky. Joe, you look tired to death.
I'm all right.
Did you see Aunt March about the position yet?
Not yet, Marmy. Oh, how was work with the Ladies' Army Aid Auxiliary today?
We're so short, blankets ready to start cutting up carpets to send to the men.
I wouldn't mind sleeping under a carpet if I could join up.
Joe.
How's your cold, Meg?
Practically gone, Marmy.
Did you see Mrs. King today?
Yes, I start on Monday, $4 a week, and the house is so lovely and the children seem so sweet. It won't be like work at all.
I'm so proud of you.
I'll rub your feet for you, Marmy.
Thank you, baby. Hey, Joe, be a dear and fetch my muff. I have a surprise for you.
A surprise for Joe.
For all of you, really.
Is that your father?
Sent you all a little Christmas message. Now who could that be?
From the sound of the pounding, I'd say Aunt March.
Yes, there's her sleigh. I'd like to have a sleigh. Then I wouldn't have to walk everywhere.
Good evening, Aunt March.
Good evening. Not at all, miss, not at all. It's freezing cold, the dead of winter. You haven't even shoveled a proper path to the front door. I might have slipped and broken who knows what. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Aunt March. So nice of you to visit us tonight, Auntie.
Yes, please come in by the fire.
Thank you. No, I have a fire at home, where I should be at this very minute. I only stopped by to bring you these. Meg.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Joe.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Amy.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Beth. Goodness gracious, where is that child?
Here I am, Aunt March.
Oh my, for pity's sake, stop skulking around like that. I don't like people sneaking about. Come out into the open, I always say.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Far be it for me to complain, but when I was a girl, I used to make a special point of visiting my aunts' homes to wish them a Merry Christmas, not the other way around. I didn't force them to leave the comfort of their sitting rooms to travel halfway across the town to come and visit me. See that you spend it wisely.
The girls and I have been planning to visit you tomorrow, Auntie.
Tomorrow? Well, we never know if there'll be a tomorrow, now do we? Have you heard from that foolish father of yours? Waltzing off to war like that and leaving others to take care of his family. Doesn't he realize Lincoln needs fighters to win this war, not worn-out old creatures like himself?
We're very proud of Father, and you should be too.
Joe.
And we don't need anyone to take care of us.
My, aren't we a hoity-toity?
Some tea, Aunt March.
No. If your father had listened to me, you'd all be far better off today. I begged him not to invest his money with that swindler. Took one look at him and knew he'd swipe the pennies off a dead man's eyes. But your father believes he sees good in every ne'er-do-well he shakes hands with.
Well, there's no use dwelling on the past, Auntie,
And
I
besides,
think...
it was our money that got lost, and it hasn't got anything to do with you.
Don't be impertinent with me, Missy. It's a waste of time talking to you, Miss Josephine March. You're as pig-headed as your father, and as much common sense as a dizzy cow. It's no use talking to the lot of you. Nobody listens to my good advice. Like talking to a flock of geese. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas, Aunt March.
Aunt March, wait.
How do you plan to try my patience now, Miss Impertinence?
It's just that I'd like to apologize for my outburst, and I'm willing to bury the hatchet if you are. So what do you say?
Amy, what are you doing?
I want to hear what she's saying to Aunt March.
Amy!
So, Aunt March, if the position is still open, I'd like to be your personal companion.
You certainly are a trial, Miss Josephine March. Still, I suppose the devil you know is better than the one you don't. You can come around the house after the holidays if it suits you.
Thank you, Aunt March. You won't be sorry.
Merry Christmas, Josephine.
Well, it's all settled.
What is?
I'm Aunt March's new personal paid companion.
Oh.
I'll read her books, keep her company, and make pleasant conversation.
Pleasant conversation?
When do you begin, dear?
After the holidays.
May we open our envelopes now, Marmee?
Yes, Amy.
How bloody! I could buy a new book. Maybe The Black Avenger.
Oh, how I love a new bonnet with silk and lace and a long feather.
I will buy a new set of favorite pencils and a new sketch pad.
And what will you buy, Becky?
I would like some new sheet music.
May we go to the shops now, Marmee, before they close?
All right, girls.
But what about Father's
yes,
letter?
of course. Come. To my loving wife, give my girls a kiss and tell them I think of them by day, pray for them at night, and find my best comfort in their affections at all times. I know that they will remember all that I've said, that they will be loving children to you and work diligently so these hard times need not be wasted. I know they will fight their bosom enemies bravely and conquer themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little women.
Ma'am,
Yes, Hannah?
sorry to disturb you, ma'am, but it's a message from Mrs. Hull. Wants to know if we can come over right away.
Yes, of course, Hannah. My boots, Amy. My wrap, Joe. Good night, girls.
Good night, Marmee.
I may be late, but don't stay up. Thank you, dear. Good night. Love you all.
Good night, Marmee. Safe travels.
Marmee ought to have a new pair of slippers. I can make do with the music I have.
No, I'm the man of the house while Papa is gone. I'll provide the slippers.
Beth thought of it first.
Then I'll buy her a new pair of shoes.
Gloves. A fine pair of pink gloves. Maybe kid.
I'll buy her a new bottle of cologne. A small bottle. That won't cost too much, and I'll still be able to buy my pencils.
But Joe, won't the store be closed by now?
Then we'll storm the Citadel. They'll have to open up for us. Come on!
God
Rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day.
So, Christmas was a time for presents once more. Presents for our Marmee. We could hardly contain our excitement over the surprise we knew would await our Marmee in the morning. But our holiday fervor was momentarily surpassed by the preparations for our special performance, the Christmas Eve premiere of The Witch's Curse, an operatic tragedy.
March girls to share their holiday festival with us.
Yes, my dear, you do know that the March family has once been the most prominent family in Concord. Gentle gathering of the right people and lovely dances hosted by the March family was quite commonplace in those days.
What happened to bring them down so far, Mrs. Garner?
Well, my dear child, it was foolish of Mr. March and his altruistic ways, attempting that ridiculous integrated school and communal farm. It's obviously scandalous, but I shouldn't say another word of fear to corrupt you imprisonable girl's mind with his wretched progressive ideas. I would say everyone in town pities poor Mrs. March.
Excuse me, Mother, but who's the young man who's come to stay with old Mr. Lawrence? Hortensia told me he's from Europe.
Sally, my dear child, it is never polite to gossip about one another until we know all the facts about them. Now, old Mr. Lawrence's grandson is all another story altogether. He'll make a grand catch for one of the young ladies in a few years. He'll be the most eligible man in Concord when he comes of age. Quite a lot of money there, you do know. But of course, I'll never discuss that with you girls. It would be terrible in this Christmas.
Now just hold still a moment and me. I must insist. I must have time to adjust my costume. Hannah can help with the setup. Christopher Columbus!
Oh, goodness gracious, I can't help now. I've got to get the door. Come on in out of the cold, dearies. Let me collect your wraps and you can go settle yourself in the parlor.
Thank you, dear. And can you watch my rabbits hunt properly so I can catch her?
They want to hurry in now. The girls are just about ready to begin.
I was afraid we'd have to postpone until New Year's. There's been so much confusion. But it looks like smooth sailing from here on out.
The Witch's Curse, an operatic tragedy.
Zara, where's that wicked servant girl of mine?
Oh, Hatter, I am here. What is your bidding?
Go into the woods to the castle of Hugo the Black.
Oh, woe is me.
There to meet Rodrigo and deliver this secret codicil.
Rodrigo, my love, my life.
Go now into the woods.
Yes, Hatter, I fly. Rodrigo, where are you, my love? My heart quakes with fear. Strange that this should be our appointed destination. Apprehension floods my soul in this place of tremulous terror. Rodrigo, would that you were here now. What ho? Who is there? Rodrigo, my love.
No, 'tis I, Hugo the Black.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes, and I intend to make you my wife this night. My haunted wood shall be your bridal bower.
Rodrigo, save me! Lord, take pity on my helpless soul!
Rodrigo is but a fading dream now.
Rodrigo, save me! Save me! Get off!
Tonight I shall make Zara my bride.
Christopher Columbus! Well, I don't intend to bruise myself on your account.
Girls, the audience is waiting. Play something.
Rodrigo, where are you? Will you not save me from a fate worse than death? You need a deputy to join on the line. Come, the stroke of midnight! I shall be lost to you for all eternity. Do not let me become the devil's bride.
'Tis I, Rodrigo, here to foil the witch's curse. Zara, my love, oh, where are you?
Oh, Rodrigo, I know you would not fail me. Quickly throw me from my tower prison before the stroke of midnight, or all is lost.
Here, Zara, my love, take this rope. Oh, and together we shall journey far from this place of darkness to the city.
Oh, ow! My crown! Go on, where is it?
Joe. Now go enjoy the festivities with your friends.
All right, Marmee.
Thanks to Marmee and the wonderful holiday delicacies provided by Mr. Lawrence, my play felt as though it had been every bit the success I had hoped it would be. Our spirits were buoyed even further by the anticipation of Christmas morning and the wonderful surprise our presents would be for our Marmee.
We must have been enormously rich. How was I dressed when we had all that money?
In diapers?
Isn't Marmee up yet?
Oh yes, up and down.
On Christmas morning, where is she?
At the Hummels. Poor Mrs. Hummel delivered her baby early this morning.
The Hummels have another baby?
One baby after another. 6 children, half frozen, all huddled together in one bed and no fire. So your mother took her breakfast over. Now, I believe in charity as much as the next person, but we haven't got anything to spare.
Didn't she see your presents?
Yes, she did, and right pleased with them she was. Now she said for you girls to have your breakfast, and she'll meet you at church.
What's the matter, Buffy?
I don't feel hungry anymore.
Beth, dear, people are starving everywhere every day. If you let that bother you, you'll never eat again.
I tried to think about it.
We don't know those people, but we do know the Hummels. We passed their house on the way to church.
What are you saying? Joe, you're not about to go give our breakfast to the Hummels, are you? You wouldn't do a thing like that, would you?
I could.
So could I.
Well, it's all or none.
Well, I don't suppose none of us is an option. All right, but I insist on a secret vote.
Amy.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Oh, fine. Aye.
Good, it's decided then. Let's bundle up.
What's going on then?
Grab your wrap, Hannah. We're off to church with just one stop along the way.
Land sakes, is my whole breakfast off to the Hummels then?
The whole breakfast, Hannah.
Well, then I suppose I can spare a quart of wood too.
Oh, Hannah, you're an angel.
I'll carry the popovers. You can take the milk.
No, I'm fine. I can have perfectly.
I'm sure you can. That's why you're taking the milk. We want to have something left for the Hummels.
Excuse me, miss. I believe you dropped this.
Why, thank you.
Come along, Josephine.
Say, you're that Lawrence boy who lives next door, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Theodore Lawrence. And this is my tutor, John Brooke.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm Jo March, and that is Meg, and the three of the road are Amy, Beth, and Hannah. Merry Christmas to you both.
And Merry Christmas to you.
We've heard all about you, how you ran away from school and tried to join up. I think it's just blubby.
Josephine, we should be going.
I've seen you watching us from your window.
Oh, I didn't mean to be rude. It's just so dull at grandfather's. Dull as the tomb, to be frank, and your home always looks so lively and fun. Like a picture when all the lamps are lit and you gather around your mother.
Where's your mother?
She died in Europe shortly after my father's death.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I give you leave to watch us whenever you like, And come over and join the picture if you feel like it.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Grandfather would say I was imposing.
Bilgewater. Theodore Lawrence, you are officially invited to call on the march home whenever you please.
Thank you. I will.
Come on, Joe, let's go.
Honestly, Meg, let's go. Well, goodbye.
For now.
Goodbye. For now.
Goodbye, Miss March.
Joe, what will they think of us now? Sobbing and talking the street like that without being properly introduced?
I don't care. And I bet they don't care either. Besides, you certainly weren't very polite. You're getting as prissy as Amy. It wouldn't hurt you to say hello.
Well, not after the way that man stared at me.
What man? Oh, you mean Mr. Brooke? I hadn't noticed.
Well, I did. Oh my.
What is it?
He's still looking.
Who?
Mr. Brooke! No, don't look!
Who, me?
Oh, come on.
And so ended the first brief encounter with one who would become one of the truest friends our little family would ever know. But as winter began to melt away into spring, I wondered if my invitation to call on us would ever be taken up by young Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Theodore Lawrence, calling upon Miss Josephine March.
Joe, you've got company. Right this way.
Why, hello, Theodore.
Please, call me Lori. Everybody else does.
All right, Laurie then.
I expect you'll be wanting some tea.
Yes, please, Hannah, that would be lovely.
Just as I thought.
Now, do tell me about yourself before you arrived here in Concord, Mr. Laurie.
Well, I used to live in Europe before my
Europe?
parents...
How exciting! I'm going there too, you know.
Really? When?
Oh, well, I don't know really, but my Aunt March, what a crotchety old thing she is, has rheumatism, and did I tell you I work as her companion? Anyway, the doctor said the bats in Europe might do her some good, so did you go to the bats? I mean, for rheumatism?
I don't have rheumatism.
Of course not. Neither have I, but I figured the bats couldn't do you any harm. What do you think?
Here we are.
Thank you, Hannah.
This one will talk the ear off a stalk of corn if given half a chance.
I don't mind a bit. I like talking.
I hope so for your sake. Enjoy. Call if you need anything.
Thank you, Hannah. Anyways, I really want to go to Europe for my writing. Travel is just so important for a writer. And what did you say?
I didn't say a thing.
Oh. Well, how are you getting along with your grandfather?
Oh, fine, I suppose. It's just
I know, you should have seen him before you came.
Really? Isn't he a holy terror?
You should meet my Aunt March. Oh, slice of cake?
Please, it almost looks too good to eat.
Meg made it.
Is she the oldest? Brooke and I were wondering.
Why should he wonder about her?
He seems rather taken with her. Surely you've noticed. Does she like anyone in particular?
So he sent you to find out for him. Well!
No,
You can tell him
just...
that we don't like anyone in this house. Well, we like lots of different people in this house, but we don't like young men. Well, we do like young men, but we don't like young men who wonder about who we like. Meg is just too young and too smart to wonder about who wonders about her.
Perhaps I'd better go.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be out of sorts. Oh, dear. So clumsy of me. I'm so very sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Do you really want to go?
No, not really. It's so dull over there, and over here it's all so lively.
I'm glad you like it here.
I was wondering if I could be in one of your plays sometime. Would that be all right?
I'll say, I'd love to have someone else play the villain for a change. I hate wearing that mustache. It makes me sneeze.
Oh, I know how to fence, too.
Really?
Really? Here. On guard.
On guard! A hit! What say you? you.
A touch I do confess.
Quit your frolicking. There's someone at the door. Mrs. March! Mrs. March! It's one of the telegraph things.
It's father.
Oh, Marmee, no.
He's been wounded. He's at the hospital in Washington. I must go at once.
I can ask grandfather for a carriage to take you to the train station.
We need fare for the train and the expenses, but we don't have enough in our savings to pay for those things.
I'll go and ask Aunt March.
Quickly, girls, we'll help your mother pack.
Yes, Hannah.
The next few hours were spent preparing Marmee for her journey. I set out for Aunt March's house on my self-appointed mission. I thought our request to help Marmee get to father would be an unpleasant but simple task. I never imagined how my journey would end.
There now. I think that's everything. Oh, and don't forget these.
Thank you. I wonder what could be keeping Joe.
The carriage is waiting outside, and grandfather sent along a bottle of port for Mr. March.
Thank you, Lord. And give my kindest regards to your grandfather. Place this carefully in my traveling satchel, Beth.
Yes, Marmee.
Careful not to shake it.
Where's Joe?
Where is she? Where is she? Where is that foul-tempered daughter of yours?
I thought she was with you, Aunt March.
Not very likely. Not after her visit. Here, take this. Lord knows you'll need more than you ask for. One can only guess what you'll find once you get there.
Thank you so very much, Auntie.
Oh, pish, posh, and twaddle. You're too sentimental, you are. Now, you know how to get there. You change trains in New York. Horrid, horrid city. And then
I don't believe that will be necessary, ma'am. Mr. Lawrence has already asked me to accompany Mrs. March to see that she gets on the train to Washington safely.
That's terribly kind, Mr. Brooke, but really there's no need.
It would be my pleasure to be of service to you and your family, Mrs. March. Besides, Mr. Lawrence has already engaged some work for me to complete for him while I'm there. So you see,
But you're all terribly kind. Thank you. Thank you all so very much.
then with your permission, I'll load your luggage for you, and we'll wait outside for you in the carriage.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke.
I want to apologize for being less than neighborly in the past. You've been very kind, Mr. Brooke, and you have no idea what a relief it is to know that Marmee has someone to look after her.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. March. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What on earth could be keeping that child?
At least finish your tea while you're waiting, ma'am.
Thank you, Hannah. Bethy, you see that you don't forget the Hummels while I'm away.
No, Marmee, I won't. I promise.
Well, someone might remember me once in a while, too, for a change. Well, I hope everything turns out for the best, but I doubt it.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Aunt March?
Yes, miss, here I am, and no thanks to you, I had to get up, get dressed, and ride over here by myself, because you're so stubborn. Well, you certainly don't get that from my side of the family. Good day, Miss Josephine March.
Where have you been? Marmee was worried sick. We all were.
Yes, what could have kept you this long?
I went to Aunt March, and she croaked like she always does when someone asks her to open her purse, and well, I just couldn't stand it. There he is, her own nephew, sick in the hospital, and all she can do is stand there and complain about money. So I lost my temper, and here's my contribution.
$25? Where on earth did you get it, Joe?
I came by it honestly. I only sold what belonged to me. Goodness gracious, it doesn't affect the state of the Union. I just happened by the waymaker shop and saw potatoes, a pair in the window with the price tags on them, and so I thought it might do me some good to have my mop cut off too. So I did.
Thank you, Joe.
We'll have to hurry now if... Christopher Columbus! What happened to you? You look like a porcupine. Sorry.
Oh, I don't
grow back and be just as beautiful as before. But you'll never be more beautiful to me than you are right now.
I like it. It will be easy to keep up.
And it's strangely becoming.
We'll need to hurry now, Mrs. March.
You can't miss your train.
Yes, you're right.
Can Millie go with you?
No, it's best if you stay here and carry on as usual. Remember to comfort one another. And Meg, you'll watch over your sisters?
Yes, Marmee.
Try to be more patient, Joe. And Beth, don't forget the humbles.
I won't, Marmee. I promise.
Amy, be obedient. Goodbye, my loves. I'll keep this picture of you in my mind. God bless and keep us all.
Goodbye,
Goodbye, Marmee.
Safe travel.
Oh, my poor Joe, you're crying.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
Don't worry. Father is a strong man, I'm sure, and Marmee has Mr. Brooke to take after her.
I'm not crying because of that.
Well, what is it then?
My hair.
Oh, it'll grow back eventually.
But it's so sad.
Father's convalescence in that Washington hospital lasted many months, and life in our little home soon found a simple domestic pattern in Marmee's absence. Our friendship with Glory continued to grow, and the surprising support and neighborly friendship of his grandfather was a boon to all our spirits. I had worked furiously at my scribblings during that summer, and had begun sending off some of my manuscripts to publishers. Then an important letter arrived for me that fall.
Been up to with all your scribbling lately? Is this why you haven't had any time for me lately?
Return it now, Mr. Lawrence, or never speak to me again.
Oh, all right. Just like a girl. First you say we aren't going to have any secrets, then this.
Well, this is different.
It's still a secret.
No.
Well, you can keep it because I've got one too.
Oh, bilge water.
And it's plumbing.
Very. Oh, fine. If that's the game you're going to play. You tell me yours and I'll tell you mine. Oh, fine. Read it yourself.
Pay to the order of Miss Josephine March. $1 for her story entitled The Phantom Hand.
Well, what do you think of that?
$1?
Go on, laugh. But that's just the start. Someday I'll get as high as 10.
I swear I'll never understand you. Cooped up in that attic, writing away, missing out on all the fun we could be having, and for what? A measly $1? Joe, if it's money you want, I've got plenty of it.
Well, it's not the money, not really. It's this feeling I get, a strange nervous feeling on the inside. That's my story, and soon it will be in print. People will read it, something that I wrote.
I don't understand it, but if it makes you happy, I suppose...
All right now, play fair, Teddy. What's your secret?
I know where Meg's missing glove is.
Is that all?
Ask me where it is.
Well, where is it?
Brooke has it.
How do you know?
Saw it.
Where?
His pocket. He found it the night they danced together at grandfather's party. Isn't that romantic?
No, it's rubbish.
Thought you'd be pleased.
Pleased at the thought of someone coming to take Meg away. Why do things have to change just when they seem perfect? Meg used to share everything with me. Now she keeps to herself and thinks that John is a lovely name and brown eyes are beautiful. Well, I think it's sickly, sentimental, romantic rubbish, and he better not try and break our family up.
You'll feel differently when someone comes to take you away.
I'd like to see someone try it. I'll die spinster rowing my own canoe before I let any man catch me.
I'll catch you, Josephine March.
Never! Open the door! Open up!
Hey!
Oh, good afternoon, Miss Josephine. Good afternoon, Master Theodore.
Thank you for your assistance this afternoon, John.
My pleasure.
Goodbye, Mr. Brooke.
Yes, well, goodbye, John.
Goodbye, Meg.
Oh, I
I've never been so embarrassed in all of my days. When are you going to stop behaving like a child?
Not until I'm old and stiff and need a crutch. Don't try to make me grow up before my time, Meg. It's bad enough having you change all of a sudden. Let me be a little girl for as long as I can.
I haven't changed a bit, but it's time you stopped your romping ways. Just look at you. No hairpins, no combs. Running down the public road like a loose horse.
I wish I were a horse.
Oh, you are such a child.
Well, goodbye, I suppose. Joe? Why are you mad at me?
Hannah? Where's Hannah? What's the matter, Bethany? No, Joe, don't come near me. I feel so tired, and please get Hannah.
Hannah, come quickly!
Here, Bethany, why don't you come in?
What's happened, Joe? Don't come near me, then.
What is it?
Oh, Joe, the baby is dead. The little humble baby died in my lap.
Oh, my poor Bethany.
She seemed asleep, but suddenly she gave a cry and trembled and then lay very still. I tried to warm her feet, but she laid so still, and then I knew she was dead.
It's not her fault.
The doctor came. He said it was scarlet fever.
Beth, come and lay down on the
No, Amy, don't come near me. You never had it, and I feel so strange. I should
Come on, Joe, help me get her up to her room.
I'm all right. I'll be fine.
Of course, Bethany, of course you will.
Meg, run and get Dr. Banks.
Yes, Hannah, right away.
And you, miss her, to stay clear of things down here. We'll have to send you to your Aunt March for a spell for your own good.
I won't go. I won't. I would rather stay here and have scarlet fever and die than go down marches.
For heaven's sake, be quiet once in your life, Amy.
You should be off as soon as you can. Scarlet fever is no joke, miss.
But it's dull at Aunt March's, and she's cross, and I don't want to be sent off as though I'm in the way.
It's to keep you well. I'll tell you what, I have a plan. I'll pop in every day to tell you how Beth is.
Will you take me out driving?
Every single day, on my honor.
And bring me back the minute Beth is well.
The identical minute. See if I don't.
Well, all right then.
There's a good girl.
The days dragged out slowly into weeks. Meg and Hannah and I kept a constant vigil near Beth's bedside. We sensed the slightest change in her person. Amy's notes arrived daily, but nothing could relieve our anxiety and sorrow as we began to sense just how fragile Beth's hold on life had become.
Hannah, don't get up. I just came by to see how she's doing today.
The doctor says the fever should have broken by now. I'm afraid we'll have to send for Mrs. March as soon as Meg returns.
Oh, Hannah.
You children begged me to telegram her weeks ago, but I was afraid of fretting her just yet. But the doctor says the end may be very close, and Miss Beth seems weaker every moment.
Hannah?
Yes, miss?
Joe.
She doesn't even recognize us. Oh, I wish Marmee were here. She'd know what to do.
It'll be all right, Joe. You can hold on to me. I'll be strong for you.
If only I'd sent that telegram.
Joe, Marmee will be here. Soon.
No, she won't. How could she be? There isn't time.
I got fidgety, and so did Grandfather, so we sent Brooke back to fetch her. She'll be here on the 5 o'clock train.
Marmee? Here? In a few hours?
Yes, Joe.
Oh, Ted, my dear Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fly you like that. It's just, I didn't know any other way to say thank you.
Fly at me again. I rather liked it.
No, thank you. I'll do it by proxy when your grandfather comes. Oh, Lori, if life is as hard as this, I don't think I'll ever get through it.
We'll all laugh again and have fun and games, just like the old times. You'll see.
I hope so, Lori. I truly do.
Well, I'm off to the station now, and I shan't spare the horses.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Please, Lord, if you must take Bethy, please wait until Marmee gets home. But please, Lord, don't take her.
Exactly as you say, Dr. Bangs. The fever's broken.
Oh, thank heaven.
He says she's certain to pull through now.
Hannah, I don't think I'll complain about another thing for as long as I live.
He says we're to have plenty of milk for her for strength as soon as she's able. We'll have her on the road to recovery in a slap and a bang, miss.
Thank you, Hannah. You're truly an angel. And what about Amy?
Sent for as soon as the doctor said. Is Beth resting now?
Yes. I have all her old linen stripped and fresh ones on in just a few minutes.
We're to have plenty of warm milk for her.
Yes, Hannah. Oh, Marmee, you're home.
She's going to be all right. The doctor says she's going to get well.
Everything will be all right now.
Oh, Marmee, you're home.
Bethy. Oh, Marmee, I thought you were so beautiful.
I came straight away, like your note said. Oh, Marmee!
She's going to recover. Our Bethy is going to recover.
Oh, Beth, you have no idea how I worried about you. I thought about you night and day. I even wrote a will.
A will?
Yes, just in case I was dancing too.
You shouldn't laugh. I left you my sketch pads, my plaster rabbit, and my brown sixteen.
Oh, that's very thoughtful.
Since I didn't die, none of you get anything.
Pardon me, is this the March home?
It is indeed.
Then I have a very special surprise for you.
Meg, Hannah, Amy, and Joe. And now, my dear, dear Betsy.
Wow, this is blummy, just blummy. The March family all together again. I call this splendid, really I do.
As the years passed, Father and Beth gradually regained much of their old strength, yet Bethy seemed more fragile than before, and all but Father acknowledged this. The bonds of friendship with our neighbors, the Lawrences, grew ever stronger until Laurie seemed almost one of the family. One member of the Lawrence household seemed truly bent on joining our little family. More disturbing still was the fact that Meg seemed all too willing to oblige his little whim.
What are you doing?
Writing?
Well, I see that. I mean, what are you working on?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it may very well become a tragedy depending on what the heroine, decides.
Well, do keep me posted.
I'll do my best.
Will you be using this room for much longer?
Why, are you expecting someone?
No, of course not.
You are! You're expecting that man, aren't you?
Don't be foolish, and if you happen to be referring to Mr. Brooke, well...
I knew it. You think you're in love with him, don't you?
Well, I hadn't
I
thought...
can tell you right now, you're not.
I'm not?
Of course not. I'm a writer, and I write about girls who are in love all the time, so I can tell you, you have none of the signs. You sleep fine, you eat well, and you're never depressed. Clearly, you're not in love. So there's no need for you to go off and do anything foolish, like marrying that man.
Well, I don't intend to marry any man.
You don't? Well, cheers for you, Meg March.
Well, now...
What are you going to tell him? You should decide what you want to say, because it wouldn't be polite just to send him packing.
Well, I've no intention of being rude. Oh, really? This is so silly. Who says that he'll ask for my hand in marriage at all? All right. If he does, I will say to him quite calmly and politely, I'm afraid I must agree with Marmee. I'm too young to enter into an engagement right now, but thank you, Mr. Brooke. You are most kind. And I do hope that we can continue to be good friends. How was that?
Good and stiff. That should throw him off the track. Just hand him his walking papers and things can get back to normal around here.
Oh, that's him, Joe. I just know it.
I'll clear out of the way. Just remember, cool and stiff. Oh, I'd love to see his face. Good afternoon, Mr. Brooke. Meg is in the sitting room. She's been expecting you.
Oh, really? Well, I'd only stopped by because I'd forgotten my umbrella, and I thought I might speak with your father, too.
He's in the coat rack. I mean, it's reading the paper. I'll go get him.
Is something the matter, Meg? Have I upset you somehow? Please don't be angry with me.
Oh, how could I be? You've been so kind to our family. I only wish that I could find some way to thank you properly.
Shall I tell you how?
Please don't.
Meg, I love you, and even if you don't love me now, perhaps in time you may learn.
I don't choose to learn. Now please go away and leave me alone.
Do you really mean that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Won't you think about it? I'll wait.
I wish you wouldn't now, please.
Meg,
What's this? What's going on here?
He's just a friend of Father's. I'm so surprised to see you.
That's evident. There's mischief going on here, and I insist on knowing what it is.
No, Mr. Brooke just came for his umbrella, you see, and
Brooke? That boy's tutor? I see it all now. He's proposed, hasn't he?
Please, he'll hear you. Shall I call for Father?
Have you accepted him? Do you intend to marry this cook?
Please.
Not until I speak my mind. Now, let me tell you, miss, that if you marry this hook, or rook, or crook, not a penny of my money goes to you.
I shall marry whom I please, Aunt March, and you can give your money to whomever you please.
Now, be a reasonable girl. It is your duty to marry a rich man and help your family. You can be sure that this hook fellow knows you have a rich relation. Me. And that's why he wants to marry you.
How dare you! Why, my John would no more marry for money than I would.
Tidy, aren't we, Miss Independence? Well, you'll be sorry for it when you've tried love in a cottage and find it a failure.
It can't be worse than what one finds in a big, empty house.
Well, I never! Well, you do as you please. You see where my good advice gets me. But remember, the day you marry him is the day I disinherit you. Now, you made me forget what I came here for, Miss Insolence. I wash my hands of you, the lot of you. Ah!
Thank you for defending me, Meg. And thanks to Aunt March for proving that you do care for me, at least a little bit.
Well, I didn't know how much until she said all of those dreadful things.
Will you wait for me?
Yes.
Mommy! Come downstairs quick! Johnsburg is acting dreadfully and Meg likes it!
Meg and John's spring engagement brought about a hailstorm of criticism from more people than Aunt March and me, as we were soon to learn.
Run as fast as you can, but I'll find every one of you.
Shocking, simply shocking. It's a complete disgrace if you ask me.
What is it, Mother?
The way she lets her girls run hither, thither, and yon, like a pack of wild animals, and playing with a boy, no less, is no appropriate behavior for young ladies to have in public place.
I should like to get to frolic and play a bit. It might be a bit more fun than just dressing up to sit all around and do needlework.
Or traipsing around town, making social calls on people I don't even like.
Stop right where you are, young ladies. Your mother would never tolerate such infant behavior, and neither shall I. Those simply are not proper thoughts for young ladies to have, let alone speak out loud.
But, Mother, we appear to be quite alone here.
Don't talk back to me, silly Gardner.
Beth, where are you? Amy? Joe? I know. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Gardner. I was just, you see, Will you excuse me, ladies? I'm in a bit of a rush.
I would never let you or your friends to make a spectacle of yourself the way Mrs. March and Motley Crew does. Clearly, she doesn't know the proper way for young ladies to secure good marriage, and she will do any means to achieve her plans.
What exactly are you saying, Mrs. Gardner?
Well, it's so obvious, my dear child. Oh, the three of you are so innocent to the way of the world is. You see, Mrs. March is an ambitious woman, ambitious for her daughter. Meg's engagement to Mr. Brooke is just the beginning of a little ploy to ingratiate her family to Mr. Lawrence. She had plans for all her girls. All right.
Our mother says Meg could have made a much better match than Mr. Brooke.
Not at all, my dear, not at all. Mr. Brooke is just her first step. Mrs. March views this Lawrence boy as the icing on the cake. He'll make a grand catch for her family. She simply threw her 3 remaining lobster to him the same way one throws cents in front of a dog.
I don't think our mother would approve of your reference to Mr. Lawrence as some form of domestic pet. Come, Bear, it's time we return home.
Well, she may not be sharing her opinion on this affair with you, but you can trust me when I say everybody in the town's talking about it. And if not, more.
Oh, Mother. Joe, are you all right? Don't let them bother you, Joe. They don't bother me, really.
I'm not upset. I'm angry. Good and angry. Why, I can spit tacks. Mommy doesn't have any plans for us. Does she?
I've got you. Well, I said I would catch all of you, but I didn't think it would be this easy. What's the matter? Why aren't you hiding?
Maybe we aren't the ones who've been caught.
Soon, summer was upon us, and sooner still was John and Meg's wedding day. Our lives were so full with preparations and plans for the wedding that we scarcely had time to think about the void that would be left in our little house on the day of Meg's departure. But that day came at last, and with it those same feelings of joy and loss that attend the members at most weddings.
Joe, come back. The celebration has just begun. Don't cry, Joe. Don't cry. It will be all right.
No, it won't. Our family will never be the same again.
You still have me, Joe.
I know, Teddy. You don't know how much I appreciate that, my dear, dear boy. Now then, I've had my silly scene, and we should return to the party before we're missed.
Not just yet. Please, Joe, there's something I need to ask you.
No, Teddy. Please don't.
I will, and this time you must listen. The sooner the better, for both of us.
Say what you like then. I'll listen.
I've loved you ever since I've known you, Joe. Couldn't help it. I've tried to show you, but you wouldn't let me. Now I'm going to make you hear, and give me an answer.
I wanted to save you this. I never wanted you to care for me this way. I tried to keep you from it when I could.
I only loved you all the more for it. I've tried to tell you, well, ever since I came back from college.
I know.
I know I'm not half good enough, but if you love me, you can make me into anything you like.
No, Lori, I wouldn't change you. Not for the world. It's you who would need to change me. You should marry someone lovely and accomplished who will adore you and grace your fine house. I couldn't. I love the social whirl and you like it. You hate my scribbling and I couldn't get on without it. In the end, we'd quarrel and...
No.
Yes, we always have. It would be horrid if we were ever foolish enough to...
Marry? No, it wouldn't. It could be heaven if we take a chance. Please, don't disappoint me. Everyone expects it. Grandpa has his heart set on it, and your family too. Joe, I just can't go on without you. Say you will, Joe. Marry me.
I can't. Oh, Lori, I'm sorry. I've tried to love you the way you want because I am so proud and fond of you, and I do love you. I love you so dearly as a friend. But I could never love you as a wife. It would be a lie to say I could when I could not.
Really and truly, Joe?
Really and truly. Lori, I don't believe I shall ever marry. I love my liberty too well to give it up for any man.
Yes, you will. I know you. You'll meet some no-account, good-for-nothing idiot and fall in love. It's your way. You'll work and live and die for him, while I have to stand by and see it all. Well, I'll be hanged if I do.
Rory, wait, come back. Where are you going?
To the devil! Someday you'll be sorry, Joe March.
Why, Joe? Why have you locked yourself away like this? You were missed. Meg and John want you to see them off.
I'm sorry, Marmee. I felt tired and I needed to be alone for a while.
All right.
Marmee, what sort of plans do you have for us?
Plans, dear?
Yes, you know how some mothers have plans for their daughters, wanting them to marry rich men or something? You asked me the other day what my wishes were. Well, I'll tell you as soon as I've heard what you want.
Well, I suppose I wish a good many things, no different from anyone else. I want my children to be loved and admired and respected. I want you to lead good and useful lives. I pray life's into as little sorrows as possible. Of course, I'm ambitious for you. Like any other mother, I'd be happy to see you marry a rich man, if you loved him, but I'd rather see you as a poor man's wife or a spinster than watch you lose your self-respect and happiness in a loveless marriage, even if it made you the queen of the world.
Thank you, Marmee. Thank you.
What's this?
I knew I chose right. I'm never getting married, ever.
Oh, really, Joe?
No. Now, I'll tell you what I want. I want to go away.
Why,
I've
Joe?
thought about it a while, and I want something new. I'm restless. I need to be out, seeing and doing. I want to hop a little ways and try my wings.
Well, where do you intend to hop?
New York.
Joe!
Amy can take care of Aunt March now. They're more compatible anyhow. You have Beth here to help, and well, I thought I might go to work at Mrs. Kirk's. She's looking for someone to help with the children, and with so much to see and hear, I'd get lots of new ideas for my stories.
Joe, dear, be sure that you're running to something and not away from something. Or someone. Is it Lori?
Oh, Marmee, he's gotten all this romantic rubbish into his head, and I thought it would all blow over, but it's only gotten worse.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I love him dearly, as a friend. So I think if I go away for a while, he'll get over it, and one day things can go back to the way they were. I know I don't want to make a mistake.
I think you're right. It may be best for both of you. I'll write to Mrs. Kirk, and if Father agrees it can be managed, you shall go.
Thank you, Marmee.
Now go and see Meg and John off on their honeymoon.
All right, Marmee. Working at Mrs. Kirk's boarding house was one of the most exhausting and exhilarating experiences that I have known. New York flooded my mind with new sights and new friends, the most important of whom, Professor Fritz Baer. I shared so many thoughts and ideals similar to my own that I felt that I had found a true kindred spirit. However, in the midst of my newfound fortunes, fate was going to spring a rude surprise, which was the consequence of my abominable tongue.
The most remarkably slow woman I've ever had the misfortune of meeting. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Aunt March.
I expect you'll be wanting a spot of tea then?
Goodness, no. I'll have completed my business here, driven to town, and finished my afternoon calls before you can even capably warm up a pot.
Very good, ma'am.
Well now, to the point. I'll be going abroad next month to Europe, and as I have discussed in the past, I shall require a proper traveling companion.
We will wire for Joe immediately, Auntie.
Joe? Oh, good heavens, no! I said a proper traveling companion. That one's got such a blunt disposition, she'd put a freeze on foreign relations for the next decade. Goodness, no.
But, Auntie...
No arguments, please. I'm quite decided about this. Amy will accompany me. We're more similar in temperament. Amy is docile and respectful, and will receive this opportunity graciously and without a sense of entitlement.
Auntie, I don't...
Hush, my child. Any excuses will be stuff and nonsense. My mind is made up. Besides, it's time you had a chance to try your talents. Rome will be just the place for you to study your art.
We don't know how to thank you, Auntie.
This will be an exceptional opportunity.
Oh, pish posh.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Nonsense, nonsense, my dear. Well, I'm off to town now to begin our preparations. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Aunt March.
You'll call on me tomorrow, child, so we can begin preparations for your traveling wardrobe.
Yes.
Of course. Goodbye. And thank you again, Aunt March.
Europe will do a world of good, child, a world of good.
Oh, Marmy!
Poor Joe.
Aunt March is quite pathetic. It will be wrong for us to try to change her wishes. There will be no undoing things for Joe this time.
But she'll be so dreadfully disappointed. How will I ever explain it to her?
Let's not spoil the good fortune of her with those concerns. Joe will have a war someday, and it will be as every bit as unexpected and wonderful as yours.
Father's right. No reproaches and no regrets. You can stop in New York to visit her before you sail, if that will help.
Yes, Marmy, that would be a comfort. I hate to be selfish, but I'm glad that Joe isn't traveling quite so far from us just yet. It's hard enough to bear with Ark in New York.
Yes, dear. I know.
Well, enough conversations for now. We have some preparations to begin.
Amy's visit was a comfort for both of us. Her gentle ways and thoughtful words did much to ease the pain of losing my long-anticipated European tour. Aunt March informed me that Laurie and Mr. Lawrence had also booked passage to the continent. However, during those long days before they set sail, no calling card from my dear Teddy ever arrived. Laurie's intended slight wounded me every bit as deeply as he had hoped, but no experience in my early life had prepared me for the telegram I received several months later. So it was with a strange mix of emotions that I returned home to Concord after receiving that urgent message.
Has Joe arrived yet?
No, child. Your father took the carriage to meet her at the station.
Is there anything we can do to help you right now?
Land's sakes, no. There's little enough for me to do now as it is.
The house has been so empty with Joe gone, and now with Amy off.
Oh, has the telegram been sent yet?
Straight away. Same day as Miss Josephine. Amy's answer seemed to come back as soon as she received it. Already headed back she was, but your parents wouldn't allow it. Too long and costly a trip, and it wouldn't be fair to your Aunt March. As if that Biddy ever worried about anyone but herself.
Poor dear, she must be heartsick.
That she is. But Mr. Lawrence sent word that he and Laurie would be meeting them in Nice, and they would do their best to keep her mind off things.
I'm sure they will. And Laurie is such a comfort. Joe, you're here.
Oh, Meg.
Hannah.
I'll take your luggage upstairs for you.
The house has been so empty without you.
Will you put the kettle on, Hannah? I'll go fetch Marmy and Beth.
Thank you.
Papa, what can we do? I feel so alone. There must be something.
Nothing. Nothing, my dear. It's just a matter of time now, Joe. The most important thing that we can do is to be brave for her sake. There. We must not let her see us cry.
I know, Father. I'll be strong for Bethy.
I know. I know you will. I never doubt you for a moment, my brave girl.
Joe, it's so good to have you home again.
Oh, Beth.
How I've missed you.
I've been longing to see you, Joe. And here you are, just like I dreamed. If Amy were here, we could all be together again.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but...
Oh, yes, John. We have to be getting back to the twins now. I'll bring them round in the morning for a visit if you'd like.
Yes, please. I'm so eager to see them.
Until tomorrow, then.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye. Well now, Beth, I have so much to tell you, I hardly know where to begin.
We will leave the two of you for catching up then.
Good night, my loves.
Marmy.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Beth.
Good night, Father.
Well now, presents first. There you are.
Oh, Joe. You're so thoughtful.
Well, wind it up. I figured I could accompany you while you play since you haven't had me to croak along with you lately.
I don't play anymore.
Oh. I almost forgot to tell you what I've been working on. A book.
A whole novel?
Yep.
May I read it?
Oh, well, I don't have it on hand right now. You see, I finished it right before I left.
When will it be published?
Oh, who knows? I didn't leave it with the publisher. I left it with Professor Bear.
You must be very fond of him.
I am. You see, he's the reason I wrote the book. He told me it was time for me to start writing about the people and places and things I know instead of a bunch of made-up people and places I've never seen.
Did you?
Yes, Bethy, I did.
What's your book about?
You, Bethy. Well, all of us, really. Right here. Our little family and all the happy times we used to share.
It's all right, Joe. It's all right. You don't have to cry.
I'm not crying, not really. I'm just so lonesome. Lonesome for Meg and Amy and all our old times together.
It's all right, Joe. You don't have to be brave for me. I know. Don't tell Father or Margie, but I know. I haven't wanted to tell anyone but you, my Joe. But I can feel myself slip a little each day, like the tide going out.
Don't say it, please, Bethy.
Doesn't that sound funny? Me telling you? Me, the cricket by the hearth, always content to stay safely at home, while you and Meg and Amy dream of flying away. I suppose it's my turn to fly away first this time. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry I can't express myself properly.
Oh, Bethy.
But it seems like I was never intent to live very long. I could never plan what I would do when I grew up because I can't bear the thought of leaving home. But I'm not afraid, Joe. Not anymore. Because love is the only thing we can carry with us when we go. And I have so much I know it might be uneasy. But Joe, I think I may be homesick for you, even in heaven.
Nothing can part us, Bethy. Not really. Not ever.
It's all right, Joe. It's all right. But Joe, you must take my place for Mother and Father. They will turn to you. Help me through this.
I will, Bethy. You know I will.
Yes, I know. Thank you, Joe. I feel that I can rest now.
Henceforth, safe across the river, I shall see forevermore a beloved household spirit waiting for me on the shore. Hope and faith, born of my sorrow, guardian angels shall become. And the sister
gone before me. By their hands shall lead me home.
With Beth's passing came the fulfillment of my promise to her. And each passing day filled our thoughts with the brief but special memories of our time with her. Often I awoke at night thinking Beth had called me. But when the sight of her empty bed brought me to tears, Marmie's arms were always there to gather me up, soothe me with their touch and their silent eloquence. Yet each day slowly lost some of its bitter pain as her memory was rendered more serene. And with the turning of the seasons, time brought new life and unexpected change into the March household once more.
Joe! Hannah and I are going over to Meg's to greet the wedding party. Father and John are driving over straight from the station. I know Amy was eager to see you. She and Lori miss us all so much from their wedding in Nice. Won't you be considering come with us?
I'll be fine, Marmee. Besides, someone has to keep the home fires burning until the entourage arrives here. And I'll be seeing Aunt March soon.
I suppose you're right. I just worry so, Joe. We've all had to bear so much recently, but I find my mind wandering to you more and more. Are you all right, Joe? I know you were disappointed when Aunt March took Amy in your place, and then...
Becky.
Yes, Becky. Is it the marriage, Joe?
Oh, no, I'm not upset about that. Things have worked out just the way they should have. I've been feeling a little lonely lately. Lonely and sad for things that can never be the way they were again. Perhaps if Lori had proposed to me now, I might have said yes. Just because lately it means more to me to be loved than it used to.
Joe, your time will come.
No, Marmee. I don't think I'll ever marry.
You've always known what you wanted, Joe, and you've had the courage to follow through. Your time will come soon enough, and it'll be right for you, because you've always known all along what you were waiting for.
We've got to shake our tail feathers, Mrs. March, unless you want to miss their arrival.
Yes, of course, Anna. Joe, put the kettle on and we'll be back with the newlyweds before you know it.
Come in!
Guess who?
Lori? My Daddy! It's so good to see you! You're here already? Marmee and Hannah just started over and...
They're still at Meg's. I came by first because I wanted to see you. Joe, there's something I have to say, and then we'll put it behind us forever.
You don't need to say it, Lori. It was meant to be.
I know that. Now.
You were so headstrong and certain then.
Now that things are settled properly, it will be just like old times around here.
No. The old days can never come back. We aren't playmates anymore. We're man and woman now. But we can be brother and sister and love and help each other for the rest of our lives.
Yes, Joe. Always.
Where is she? Where's my old Joe? Amy? Or should I say, Mrs. Lawrence? Just look at you!
Esticated silk from head to foot.
Oh, Joe. Can you ever forgive us? We've left you with so many burdens to bear. But never again. Amy, just look at you. To think that I should ever see the day when you would turn our dear Teddy into a hand-packed husband.
Now welcome home for me, Miss Congeniality.
Of course, Aunt March. It's so good to have you home again.
Not at all, not at all. Look at me, spending all that money on those fancy foreign doctors and medicinal baths. For what? To come home on a day like today? Oh, my rheumatism. You know, Europe isn't all they say. It was so foreign. They simply refused to speak to me in English, just babbling on and on. But they understood me. Oh, I have no doubt. Just wouldn't listen.
Things aren't the same all over the world. I'll go lay at a tea service, ma'am.
Thank you, Hannah.
Now, tell me all about Europe.
What is there to tell? Nothing but a wretched collection of ancient, broken-down buildings and filthy streets.
Ugh, but in Europe, one finds the dirt so picturesque. Charmingly put, Mrs. Lawrence.
Yes, my wife has quite a way with words.
We're all familiar with it, Mr. Lawrence.
Now, tell us what your plans are once you two have settled in.
Well, I shouldn't imagine if she drove 6 white horses, ate off gold plates, and wore diamonds every day, since Teddy thinks nothing's too good for her.
Oh, Joe, really?
This is for you, Miss Josephine. It just arrived by post.
But I wasn't expecting...
Well, open it, Joe. Let's see what it is.
It's my book, Joe. It's from Professor Bear. A friend of mine here in New York has agreed to publish your wonderful novel. He has great hopes for it. And so it is with deepest regards and best wishes that I send you the first copy. I have never read another piece with such simple truth and beauty. Fondly, Fritz Bear. Your first book.
That's my Joe.
So kind of you.
My Beth by Josephine March.
Read for us, Joe.
Oh no, really?
Yes, read for us, come on!
All right. Dedicated with love to my sister Beth. My mind drifts back to that Christmas Eve so long ago, when nothing in our little home seemed wrong, and nothing in the world outside seemed right.
Sorry. Check, check. Check 1, 2, check. Check 1, 2. Hello. Check, check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2, check. Okay. Check, check. Hello? No, nothing. All right, as is tradition here at HPA, I'll just keep trying just in case it turns on magically. Here at HPA, we like to honor our graduating seniors. This is their last performance here at Gates Performing Arts Center. I know this feeling well. In fact, one of my HPA classmates is in the audience tonight. Hi, Justin. So seniors, step forward, please. Oh, yay, it's working. Beautiful. Just in time. Yeah. So, and Contessa, come. Yeah, you too. Come. We're going to start by honoring this beautiful senior walking on stage who is not in the cast or crew, but is my capstone student whose project has been to sew some beautiful costume pieces for this show. So please enjoy, yes, these beautiful capes. So this group of seniors, I could talk, oh, don't look at me, Lily. I could talk a lot about them individually, but out of respect for your time, I'll just address you all as a group. For some of you, it's your first show. For some of you, it's your 8th show. I started here at HPA Athena's freshman year. I mean, all of their freshman year, but Athena was in my first show here at HPA, and she's been in all 8 since. And it's been such a joy to watch you all grow, and it's been one of the great honors of my life to be your teacher and director. So I'm so happy. Stop crying, it's okay. It's not even graduation. We have lots of time left together, but this is also my last show here at HPA as my husband and I move on to Oahu. So I love you all. And I asked our wonderful underclassmen to give us a couple of words to describe each of these seniors. So instead of blab on, I'm going to stop yapping now, and I'm just going to read the words that the underclassmen wrote for each of you. Starting with Aaron Jung. Aaron, will you step forward? Oh, Aaron. I'll cross over. We have funny, sarcastic, hardworking, helpful. Thank you, Aaron. Oh, thank you so much. I have too many things. These are Leila'i that I made, which it could have been way faster if I had bought lei. I already said this at Shrek, but I really, truly imbued all of my love for you all and my best wishes for your life after HPA into these lei. So they dry nicely, so you could keep them and remember me forever. Okay, Alyssa, helpful, sweet, cheerful, artistic, delightful, welcoming, adorable. Oh no, I dropped them all. Oh God. Okay, thank you guys. Leilani, yes, please help me. Leilani, our wonderful assistant director. Reliable, caring, kind, amazing, mature, essential, hardworking, absolute angel. Thank you. No, I want to give the lei. Lainey, our amazing stage manager, Lainey. Capable, thoughtful, highly competent, knowledgeable, effective, silly, so cute, all caps. I know. Okay, that's for you. Oh, God. It is a Google form. Haruno Murakami, lovely, sweet, happy, hardworking, impressive, fancy, talented. Thank you. You fancy, girl. I'm sorry. Dohoon, brave, confident, computer lover. That's accurate. Fascinating, sweet, and caring. Oh, and unique. Oh, gosh. Issa. Helpful, kind, nice, calm, dedicated, wonderful, mysteriously cool. Ella Forrest. Yeah. Amazing, supportive, silly, candid, intelligent, talented, hilarious, awesome sauce. I just bonked you with my earring, I'm sorry. Lillian Mills. Funny was on here 3 times. Considerate, witty, inspiring, fantastic, glorious, and bright. Almost there, almost there. Sabina Winterroud. Yeah. Skillful, kind, attentive, caring, spectacular, gracious, chill as hell. Athena. Generous, funny, powerful, authentic, exemplary, awesome, passionate. Last but not least, Lily Hodges. Sorry. Thoughtful, caring, friendly, determined, expert actress. Generous, commendable, gorgeous, compassionate. Yikes. Anyway, thank you all so much. And now I'm gonna talk. Sorry to make you guys wait more. Okay. This is our last show as seniors, and it's our last show with the amazing Mrs. McGrath, Kumu Delaney, obviously. And we just appreciate you so much, and we care about you so much, and you have been the most amazing director anybody could have asked for. You are the kindest person. It doesn't matter whether you're stressed or not. You're always taking care of everybody, and I just appreciate you so much. 8 shows in, I have never, ever, ever been tired of it. It is amazing. I love you so, so much. And so we wanted to give you some lei, and we have flowers for you. And Lily wants to say something as well.
I got a handful of our seniors, lead seniors, and Neha to sign a little frame of photos from all the shows. You've worked so hard, and you should be very proud of yourself. I told you you were gonna cry. I told you. And wherever you go, we know you're gonna be so successful. And we're so proud of you. And thank you for being the best director we could ever have. That's it. Goodbye.